going to show you how to use Mockito in Java. Before I can show you that, though, I need to revisit dependency injection in version of control IOC, which I've gone through before. So here's the basic hello world program, and I'm going to just try and quickly knock up an example of dependency injection. So we're going to use the car and the engine example. So we're going to have an engine, which is an interface, and that's going to be a new combustion engine, not an electric engine. We're going to feed this into our car in the constructor. So we've got car C, it's a new car, and we're telling it that it's going to be this kind of engine, which is a combustion engine, which is the inversion of control. And then the car, we're going to turn the key to start the car. And let's let IntelliJ do a lot of the donkey work for us. So this is going to be an interface. There we go. Let's go back to main. This is going to be a class. Okay. Go back to main again. Car is going to be a class. Back to main again. And turn key is going to be a method in car. Back to main again. What's it complaining about? Constructor, thank you. So it's given me the constructor here. Perfect. Excellent. So we just need to create an engine object inside our car, and when we hit the constructor, we can set the, I'll make that engine actually, engine, we can set the engine to be equal to E in the constructor. So that's the basic framework, and we just want the engine to do something. So what we're going to do is inside the car, inside turn key, we're going to have another method. We're going to say start engine start engine. No, that's not right. Oh no, this is wrong. This is wrong. Engine start engine. That was right first time. And then we've just got to implement start engine inside turn key. So there we go. Start engine. Let's make it public. Void the interface, and we should inside here. It's going to ask us for start engine. So start engine, and that's just going to do a vroom. Right, back to main. So we should be able to run that. So we're passing the new engine into the car when we build the car. Turn the key and we should see it go vroom. Hello world, vroom. Right, that's good. So now, what if we want to mock the engine? What if we want to we don't want to use the real engine, we want to use a test engine, if you like, and we just want to test. We just want to test the. We just want to test this car class. We don't want to actually test the engine itself, which would be a typical scenario for a unit test. So it turns out it's actually quite simple. all we got to do is replace this line with Mockito. Mockito mock, and then the name of the class that we want to dot class to mock out. To get Mockito to work, actually, I should point out in build.gradle, you normally do need to add. I'll just paste it in now. I think because I've done this before, the library's already there, but we should have that line there. And okay, so let's just run this again. So remember, before it's hello world room. Run it again. Let's see what happens. So notice we get hello world. We don't get any errors, build successful, but we don't get vroom. And that's because we're not running the real combustion engine. We're running a mocked out version of the combustion engine when we create the new car. So there's a few other things we can do. We can check that that's actually being called. So if I just down here, I can just say I'll put Mockito in just so it's clear what we're doing. So it's Mockito verify, and then we just have to say on that engine start engine, and that's it. We just have to, and that just checks that it's been called. So if I run that again, it should be fine, should be no errors, build should be successful. So we're just verifying that start engine has been run in the engine here. Sorry, in the combustion engine. This method has actually been invoked from the car. Now, what we can do just to prove that that is working, if we just comment out that, so when we turn the key, we don't actually start the engine, see what happens. Remember, it was build successful before. Watch what happens now. So we've got hello world, and we get some errors. And if we click on main, you can see actually there were 0 interactions with this mock. So it's complaining that we didn't actually start the engine. So there's a problem with the code. So that's the most basic use of Mockito. Now we can take it a bit further. We can, at the moment, start engine doesn't have any input or output parameters. But what if we wanted to give it a give it some input and output? So let's rewind a bit. Let's get rid of the mock. I'll reinstate the original code. So if I go into combustion engine, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change it so it outputs a string, and it takes a string in. So we've got an input and an output to check. So let's say, for instance, we're going to return Brooklyn destination. And that's fine. I'll just leave it at that. So it's going to return Brooklyn, and let's go back up to where it's invoked. So we need to when we start the engine, we need to give it some petrol, and let's capture the output from start engine, and we'll say no sleep. till whatever the output is from there. What's it complaining about? Oh yes, in the interface we need to change that as well. So this needs to be string and string. That should be fine, I think. I think we're good. Yeah, so let's just run this. So this is without any mocking. Oh, let's get rid of this as well. Just take out all the mocking. Run it again. This is just straightforward Java. So there we go. We've got hello world, room, no sleep till Brooklyn. Now let's introduce some more of the Mockito constructs. So let's mock it out. So we're not going to use the real engine. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to do something specific. So I'm just going to add a couple more Mockito tricks to the code. So what we can do is we can change the behavior. So we can say of the mocked method. So we can say when we start the engine, and we can just say with any parameters. We don't care what parameters. Then return. I'll say tooting. Okay, so that's when we start the engine, return tooting. And the other thing we can do is we can reinstate this verify, and we can say verify start the engine. We're starting the engine with petrol. So let's run that and just see what happens. Actually, no, let's change that to diesel. We want it to run with diesel. Let's run this. So it's failed because so let's just expand this a bit. So we've got hello world, no sleep till tooting now because we've changed the behavior, and then it checks that it was invoked with diesel, and it's complaining because it wasn't diesel, it was petrol. So if I just change that back to petrol, run it again. So that's completed successfully, and we've got hello world, no sleep till tooting. So that's it. So that's some demonstration of how you can use Mockito in Java.